Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the issue-stirring tension, testing loyalties, and setting up an emotional storm across Port Charles. This new breakdown expands every moment from the original update, adding deeper context, richer character motivation, and a fuller sense of the conflicts edging toward explosive outcomes. Thursday's episode circles around Drew Kane, who finds himself pushed into the harsh glare of public judgment. What begins as snide whispers quickly turns into a spectacle that forces Drew to confront how far his reputation has fallen. Instead of withdrawing, he holds his ground with a confidence that borders on reckless, a stance that rattles anyone who hoped he might finally back down. His critics believe the shaming will break him, but Drew seems determined to rise above the noise, even if that determination potentially threatens others. Meanwhile, the shooter investigation takes an unexpected turn. New evidence suggests a subtle but telling shift in direction, sending detectives back to old files and overlooked leads. What appears at first like a small clue grows into something that prompts Dante Falconeri to rethink one of his earlier conclusions. Dante prides himself on his instincts, but even he can admit when the case begins to twist under his feet, that need to pivot pushes him into strategy mode, which becomes a major theme in his storyline for the day. Before diving deeper into the case, Jason Morgan takes a moment to meet with Lulu Spencer, and their conversation holds a tone of reality check honesty. Jason and Lulu are both tired of cleaning up behind Charlotte Casadini and Danny Morgan, whose mischief has escalated into a pattern neither parent can keep brushing aside. Their talk evolves from mild concern to a pact that they need a united front. Jason brings the steadiness, Lulu brings the emotional edge, and together they build the first layer of a structured plan to guide the two kids back toward safer decisions. It is less about punishment and more about acknowledging how these young troublemakers mirror the chaos around them. As for Dante, he seeks out Nathan West to workshop a counter-argument that could shift the direction of the investigation. Dante is fired up, convinced they need something sharp enough to redirect suspicion and expose inconsistencies. Nathan matches his energy, and their brainstorming session becomes intense. A win lands on their side when they realize Rocco Falconeri may be home in time for Thanksgiving due to the bail hearing being moved up. That victory lifts some of the heaviness surrounding Dante, even if only briefly. But the moment he starts feeling steadier, another thought intrudes. Curtis Ashford. Dante cannot shake the idea that Curtis might tie into Drew's situation in ways no one wants to acknowledge. Nathan catches Dante mid-suspicion and challenges him, unsure whether Dante's new angle is brilliant or dangerously misguided. Across town, Harrison Chase and Brooklyn Quartermain stumble onto the news that Willow Tate has accepted Drew's newest marriage proposal. Their immediate reaction is shock, but shock quickly gives way to quiet tension. Chase and Brooklyn step aside to talk, and the mood shifts when she realizes how much the situation is weighing on him. Chase is honest about his fears. He believes Willow is sacrificing her future to protect herself legally, and possibly to shield Drew as well. That interpretation leaves Chase simmering, convinced that if Willow is only marrying to gain protection in court, then it is his responsibility to free her from that corner. For the first time, Chase openly considers risking everything, including his badge, to pull her out of the legal mess threatening her. Willow, unaware of Chase's internal battle, receives an unexpected visitor. She assumes the person standing at her door wants to talk her out of the engagement, and her guard goes up fast. Her short, sharp replies carry a defensive edge that tells us she is tired of being told what to do. If the visitor is Nina, which seems likely based on her tone in the preview, then the visit will not be gentle. Nina never walks into a conversation halfway, and Willow has reached a point where even well-meaning concern feels like pressure. The dynamic between these two women is loaded, and it only takes a few words for tensions to flare. While all of this unfolds, Stella Henry shares a tense meal with Curtis, but the peace breaks the moment she spots Drew nearby. Stella's temper ignites instantly. She marches straight to Drew and demands to know how many more lives he plans to unravel tonight. Stella's moral compass is unyielding, and Drew's growing ruthlessness alarms her. Drew, however, brushes off the confrontation. He plants his feet, repeats that he gets what he wants, and turns his back on the confrontation with the same cold confidence he brought into the restaurant. The moment rattles Curtis, who sees how divided the people around him have become when it comes to Drew's behavior. At the same time, Ava Jerome meets with Portia Robinson and leaves her more worried than before. Ava mentions something small, but Portia reads between the lines. She sees how much strain Trina Robinson is carrying, especially now that Trina feels responsible for keeping the family intact. Trina's loyalty is fierce, but her patience is thin, and she continues lashing out at Jordan Ashford in ways she cannot fully explain. Her frustration becomes a shield that hides her fear of losing her family's stability. She tries pushing Curtis back toward Portia, but her methods are clumsy and emotional, revealing how much she blames herself for every fracture. As Thursday approaches, each character stands on the brink of a choice that could shift relationships and allegiances across Port Charles. Some fight for justice, some fight for family, and some fight simply to hold onto their own version of truth. One thing is certain, the emotional fallout is only beginning. Next, we will learn about the burning question gripping Port Charles fans. Will the legendary Jassam duo of Jason Morgan and Sam McCall ever ignite their spark again in this unpredictable fictional hotspot? Port Charles thrives on jaw-dropping twists that keep audiences glued, from midnight shootouts to clandestine affairs unraveling elite dynasties, proving no secret stays buried long amid the nurse's ball glamour and Quartermain power plays. Jason and Sam's epic saga, forged in high-speed chases and shared custody battles over Scout and Danny, once defined soap romance with raw passion that outshone even Sonny's mobster vows. Fans dissect every shadowy glance Jason casts, wondering if echoes of their lakeside proposals and pie stakeouts signal a comeback amid the current chaos of shooter hunts and family feuds. Kelly Monaco's apparent exit from the soap scene casts a long shadow over Jassam hopes, forcing speculation that only a bold recast could revive Sam, perhaps with a fresh face channeling her fierce independence and tattooed loyalty. Picture a new actress stepping into Sam's boots, navigating Port Charles' underbelly with Jason's silent nods during stakeouts at the Haunted Star. Their chemistry reignited over encrypted files exposing WSB plots. Writers seem laser-focused on Jason and Britt Westburn's unlikely blaze, pitting her sharp wit against his guarded heart through cancer ward vigils and escape room heists that test their bond against ex-flame ghosts. Social media erupts with fervent debates, fans flooding timelines with theories like Cyrus Renault and Sam surviving underground bunkers, alongside Britt's miracle recovery and Nathan's ghostly returns, positioning Brennan as Sidwell's double-agent mastermind behind Anna's vanishing act via cryptic phone drops. One viewer blasts, imagining elaborate resurrections where Sam's pie skills unearth Brennan's dual loyalties, weaving her back into Jason's orbit through shared vendettas against pikeman operatives. These posts pulse with electric speculation, turning Reddit threads into virtual watch parties dissecting autopsy reports and body doubles. Detractors voice sharp disdain for Britt's vibe, confessing she grates with her icy barbs and superiority complex during Metro court mixers, especially when paired with Jason's brooding intensity that once belonged to Sam alone. Critics argue Britt's princess persona clashes with Jason's grease monkey authenticity, predicting their fling fizzles amid her health scares and his endless rescues, leaving room for Jassam's grounded fire. Yet supporters highlight Britt's evolution from scheming doctor to vulnerable ally, urging fans to embrace this anti-heroine twist that mirrors Jason's own redemption arcs through black market meds and midnight confessions. Others champion Sam's growth into a devoted mom, ditching shady gigs for school runs and Dante Falcone's steady embrace, crafting a mature partnership free of felonies and high-stakes cons that defined her Jassam era. This Dante-Sam dynamic shines in everyday heroics like precinct stakeouts and family barbecues, offering realistic depth over fantasy explosions. with their banter evolving from flirtations to unbreakable trust amid Rocco's soccer games. Fans appreciate this grounded romance, contrasting Jasam's thrill-ride volatility, yet crave occasional nods to her wild past like encrypted texts from Jason during crises that keep reunion flames smoldering. Debates rage on whether Jasam's magnetic pull outweighs fresh pairings, with polls surging on X as viewers weigh Sam's Dante stability against Jason Britt fireworks, complete with fan art of alternate timelines where all converge at the floating rib. Some envision a quadruple threat storyline, Sam recast and storming back to expose Cyrus's alive and kicking empire, forcing Jason to choose amid Britt's pleas and Danny's quiet strength. Ultimately, Port Charles' magic lies in these eternal what-ifs, fueling endless speculation as Thanksgiving tables buzz with plot predictions. General Hospital spoilers hint at more seismic shifts, with Jasam whispers growing louder next. We will learn about the issue brewing quietly beneath the surface in Port Charles, one that could explode into one of the most surprising love triangles the show has staged in years. What begins as a simple alliance soon stretches into a tangle of chemistry, curiosity, and complicated loyalties. General Hospital spoilers tease that a twist in the romance department is on its way, and it is coming from a direction few viewers might predict. The whispers around town hint at three characters slowly orbiting one another, pulled together by circumstance and emotion. The possibilities are wide open, but one pairing already turning heads is the unlikely connection between Jacinda Bracken and Michael Corinthos. Their bond started from necessity, not affection, yet now it is shifting into something deeper and far more dangerous for both of them. Originally, Jacinda and Michael aligned because they needed to support each other's stories about the night Drew Kane was shot. Their alibi arrangement was meant to be temporary and all business, but their chemistry crept in quietly. A glance here, a shared laugh there, and suddenly their fake romance seemed to take on a pulse of its own. Michael, always careful and composed, has found himself relying on Jacinda far more than he expected. Jacinda, used to keeping walls around her heart, has started letting small ones fall when Michael is near. The performance they are putting on for the rest of the world is beginning to blur with reality, and neither of them is controlling that shift as well as they believe. A surprising layer to this developing storyline comes through Christina Corinthos Davis, Michael's fiercely loyal sister. Christina first approached Jacinda with suspicion, determined to figure out whether Jacinda's intentions toward Michael were honest. It was protective instinct at its strongest. She needed to ensure that Michael was not being used or manipulated by someone with unclear motives. But those early, cautious conversations quickly melted into something closer to trust. Christina found herself drawn to Jacinda's honesty, wit, and vulnerability. Their connection began with curiosity, but has slowly expanded into a comfortable, growing friendship. The question now becomes whether that friendship is laying the groundwork for something deeper. Jacinda, after all, has a complicated history. The only person she could previously consider a friend in Port Charles was Ezra Boyle, though that relationship came from her escort business and lacked real emotional foundation. Her interactions with Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson have been strictly professional or transactional. She is Nina's assistant, yes, but that hardly qualifies as a personal bond. Port Charles is a town where roots matter, where belonging shapes every storyline, and Jacinda has been adrift without anyone to anchor her. Christina could be that anchor, especially if the writers decide to develop Jacinda beyond her role as an outsider. But there is a twist built into Christina's presence. She is openly attracted to both men and women, and her storylines have frequently explored her fluid approach to love and relationships. Pairing her with Jacinda would not feel far-fetched. In fact, it could create one of the most unpredictable emotional plots the show has offered in some time. And that brings us to the possibility that General Hospital might be steering toward a sibling love triangle. Michael and Christina, to siblings who are usually aligned in loyalty and values, could find themselves pulled into competing emotional territory. Sibling rivalries on GH are nothing new, but a rivalry over the same romantic interest would raise the stakes dramatically. Michael tends to approach relationships logically, while Christina follows her heart wherever it leads. If both develop feelings for Jacinda, the tension could ripple far beyond the trio themselves. Sunny, Nina, Portia, and even Molly would get pulled into the emotional fallout. The Corinthos family, already dealing with stress from every direction, would find a new fracture line that no one saw coming. Jacinda's romantic history is still largely a mystery. That leaves the writers with freedom to build her story however they choose. She could fall for Michael's steadiness, or she could be drawn to Christina's warmth, directness, and passion. Or she could be conflicted, unsure which path feels like the real one. The lack of a known romantic past makes her the ideal centerpiece for a triangle that could tilt in any direction. If the show follows the clues it has been dropping, viewers may soon watch Michael and Christina facing emotional territory they never expected to share. They love each other deeply, but love does not always behave politely. Jacinda's presence has already sparked curiosity and connection, and it may eventually ignite something much bigger than a simple storyline about alibis and protection. It could become a story about identity, loyalty, and the unpredictable ways love works in Port Charles. So the question stands, is General Hospital laying the foundation for a love triangle involving Michael, Jacinda, and Christina? Spoilers certainly hint that something is brewing, and it is the sort of twist that could shake up every relationship connected to them. Time will tell, but all signs point to a storyline ready to challenge hearts and test family bonds in ways that will keep viewers glued to the screen. Next, we will learn about the issue unfolding across Port Charles as the next 3 weeks promise chaos, danger, unexpected romance, and family explosions that shake every corner of town. The period from November 24th to December 12th is packed with revelations, emotional confrontations, and a few shocking twists that set the stage for winter drama. We begin with the week of November 24th to 28th, where Drew Kane stuns Willow Tate with yet another marriage proposal. He catches her off guard with a heartfelt pitch that mixes strategy with genuine emotion. Drew insists that standing together as a couple will strengthen their position before her trial, but Willow senses a deeper pull between them that complicates her decision. As she weighs the offer, Michael Corinthos reconsiders whether he should allow Willow access to Wiley and Amelia again. He feels conflicted. On one hand, he wants to protect his children from instability. On the other, he knows Willow has been trying to rebuild her life from the ground up. Yet if Willow accepts Drew's proposal, Michael may see that as a risky move, one that could cloud her intentions and sabotage her effort to reconnect with the kids. Elsewhere, Liesl Obrick takes charge in her typical dramatic fashion, urging Nina Reeves to publish a story that could influence public opinion and help Rocco Falconeri. Liesl believes that reshaping the public narrative is key to softening the legal blow Rocco is facing. However, Britt Westburn is far more skeptical, especially when she notices that Sonny Corinthos has stepped in behind the scenes. Britt knows Sonny's assistance usually comes with strings and a level of intimidation that can backfire. Even so, Sonny's warning to Ada Justine Turner might be exactly what turns the tide. Justine has no desire to get caught in his crosshairs and may ensure Rocco gets bail and lighter charges. With Rocco yearning to be home for Thanksgiving, Sonny's intervention could give him what he wants, though perhaps not in the cleanest way. Nathan West also enters the spotlight when he leaves Dante Falconeri rattled. Nathan may reveal a new clue connected to Professor Henry Hank Dalton, a clue that forces Dante to question whether Sonny, Laura Collins, or both might be keeping key information from him. Nathan could share details about his roadside encounter with Laura, including the moment Sonny rushed in out of nowhere to assist her. Dante knows all too well that Sonny rarely involves himself in anyone's problems without a reason. The seed planted in Dandy's mind could grow into suspicion about the true nature of Dalton's activities and who is protecting whom. Harrison Chase and Brooke Lynn Quartermain face their own rude awakening around this time. News of Willow and Drew's engagement should she accept, would hit them hard, especially since Chase has remained deeply concerned about Willow's safety and well-being. Brooklyn immediately notices the tension in Chase's posture as the implications sink in. If Willow is rushing into marriage to shield herself legally, Chase may feel compelled to push harder to make sure she is not backing herself into a corner she cannot escape. Meanwhile, Stella Henry explodes with anger, and it may have everything to do with Curtis Ashford inching closer to becoming the PCPD's top suspect in the Drew shooter investigation. Stella worries that Curtis is sinking deeper into danger without realizing how quickly things are escalating. Portia Robinson shares that fear, but her worry runs even deeper. She is juggling the weight of the Drew chaos and the secret she has been hiding about her pregnancy. Curtis has no clue another man may be the father, and Isaiah Gannon is completely unaware there is even a pregnancy to begin with. The paternity mystery threatens to erupt at the worst possible moment, piling stress onto the already volatile environment. Before the week wraps, fans should note that General Hospital will be preempted for sports coverage on Thursday, November 27th, followed by another preemption on Friday the 28th. The story picks up again the following Monday with even more turmoil. During the week of December 1st to 5th, Jocelyn Jacks erupts with outrage when she discovers that Jack Brennan made Vaughn vanish as punishment for insubordination. Jocelyn had been warned to end her romantic involvement with Vaughn, but she ignored the threat. Now she must confront the terrifying possibility that he has been removed indefinitely. She struggles with guilt and fear, questioning whether her choices may have put Vaughn in danger he cannot escape from. If Willow accepts Drew's proposal, the couple will dive into wedding planning almost immediately. Their goal is simple: tie the knot before Willow's trial begins, presenting themselves as a united, stable household. Even if their motivations are a complex mix of legal strategy and genuine affection, the hurried wedding promises emotional tension on every side, especially for Michael and Chase. Over at Windermere, eerie developments unfold as Lucas Jones becomes entangled in a frightening mystery. His curiosity leads him into places he has no business exploring, and the shadows of Windermere have never been forgiving. Lucas could easily find himself in real danger if he does not back away from whatever secret is hiding within those walls. The week of December 8th to 12th brings the inevitable wrath of Tracy Quartermaine. When she returns from France and learns that the family hid Ned Quartermaine's heart attack from her, she unleashes fury on everyone involved. Tracy cannot believe the deception, nor can she forgive Drew for abandoning Ned after he collapsed. Her rage sends shockwaves through the Quartermaine mansion as each family member scrambles to justify their silence. Laura, already under immense pressure from the Dalton mess, begins to show signs of cracking. Sonny may have to keep a close eye on her to prevent her from unraveling completely, especially as the case heats up again. Valentin Casadin's stateside transfer adds new complexity, opening the door for Carly to pay him a visit. Together, they discuss the next phase of their hidden agenda against Brennan, forming an alliance that is as risky as it is necessary. As the Drew shooter investigation continues, viewers can expect more twists, more secrets, and more revelations that bring Port Charles to the brink of chaos. Stay tuned for more updates as every storyline converges in the weeks ahead.